Alright, so he is going to lead out with the Fortress here, and I kind of expected that, thinking he was just going to set up some hazards, so I actually sent out my own hazard setter, my Smeargle. I knew I would outspeed, so I just decided to go immediately for the Spore. It would just outspeed him, put him to sleep, and I can set up some free hazards here. Hopefully he doesn't wake up too early and get some hazards of his own, because aside from Tapu Fini, I don't actually have very many things that can take that. So I'm actually just going to switch into the Zapdos here, not even going to try to set up my own hazards. I figured I'll just try to take this guy down fast, so I don't even have to worry about him rapid spinning them away or setting up his own. And fearing the Heat Wave, he sends in his Landorus here to try to take that. I'm not exactly sure what he was planning to go for. He might have had like a Stone Edge or a Rock Slide that he was trying to counter with. I am pretty defensively invested, so I'm not sure if it would have changed the outcome here, but I actually do just go for the Hidden Power Ice, and it ends up taking down his Cloud Kitty in good old 2 shots, so that's threat immediately taken care of, don't have to worry about it. He does bring out his Kyurem here, and figuring that he would be Choice Scarfed, I thought I might be able to take this, but turns out after the battle he did tell me it was Choice Spexed, so there was no chance in hell. But at the end of the day, there isn't anything else I would have wanted to take that Ice Beam anyway, so it ended up going just fine. I do bring out the Smeargle again here, and he gets the Ice Beam off. I knew I would hang on with the Focus Sash. I was really just trying to set up some rocks, trying to prevent him from gaining momentum and bringing in that Charizard, setting up Dragon Dances on me. But I set up the rocks to try and knock that guy down a little bit, and hoping I can save this guy in the back for a while, I bring out the Tapu Fini, trying to take what I assume is going to be another Ice Beam incoming. And it is. So I set up the Misty Terrain here, and I take an Ice Beam pretty well. I am max HP and max speed invested, so I'm kind of on the bulkier side, and Tapu Fini is a pretty bulky Pokemon in general, so that's a pretty good matchup for me. And he switches back out into his Fortress here. I wasn't really sure what he was going to be doing here, but he does eat the Moonblast that I had sending towards the Kyurem. He might have just been trying to get the Steel resistance on that attack. He might just be trying to wait out the Sleep Timer as well. Not exactly sure there. But not wanting to take a Gyro Ball or something, I just bring back out my my Zygarde 10% here, and I figure that I can set up some Dragon Dances of my own. But this guy brought the offensive Z Fortress, so he actually ends up going for the Z. I assume it was Gyro Ball because it turns into the Corkscrew Crash, but apparently the nature of this Pokemon was wrong. He was running a Modest nature when he wanted probably an Adamant nature, or maybe a Jolly nature, so I ended up actually living with 2 HP, which allows me to go to it for 1,000 arrows, brings him down to about 33%, maybe a quarter, and I actually kill myself to the Life Orb, so that's actually pretty good for me, because the way our league statistics work, Fortress won't be getting the credit for that kill. So my Zygarde's actually pretty well in the points system here. But I do bring out the Smeargle. I knew I was going to do this. I forgot that the Misty Terrain was even up and that it would prevent any status from coming up. So I bring him out and try to Spore like an idiot, and it doesn't do anything. So after that doesn't work and Fortress kills him, I just bring in the Nidoking here, and I just blast this guy away with a Flamethrower. There was no chance that he would survive that whatsoever, so just tired of that guy making misplays all around here. I'm not going to have that anymore. So he brings out his Feraligatr here, and I know I can't take any of that, and I'm locked into a resisted move, so I have to bring back out the Tapu Fini, hoping to probably take a Waterfall, hoping he's not going to try to set up some Dragon Dances, but he does go up for the Waterfall. It's not going to do too much. Again, I'm HP invested, so I'm on the bulkier side, and I have the type advantage in that one. So he does get switched here. Tapu Fini forces him out, and he brings back out his Electros, which is a pretty big threat to me. I've never been able to take attacks from this guy very well. He's got pretty good coverage. He can Thunderbolt, Giga Drain, Flamethrower. I'm pretty sure he can Focus Blast maybe. But I really don't want to take a Giga Drain from this guy. So I'm actually just going to bring the Tapu Fini back out and send out Shiinotic for the first time this match. He's totally special defensive invested except for his nature. He's a bold nature, but I can take Giga Drains all day from this guy. I am scared of a Flamethrower, but I'm hoping my special defense and HP investments will pay off here, and I'll actually be able to set up some Leech Seeds or even try to get like a Strength Sap, because this guy actually has 10 attack points higher than in attack than in special attack. So I do take a Flamethrower and I get some Leech Seeds up here. So with my leftovers and the Leech Seed investment, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be able to take another Flamethrower from this guy, barring a crit, of course. And assuming that I am going to be able to take that at least decently well, I stay in here instead of trying to switch out and heal someone else with the Leech Seeds. I do take another Flamethrower, and thankfully it's not a crit, and I survive with 17 HP. That allows me to get off a Strength Sap, which takes his total attack stat and revives me that much. So because Electros' attack stat is, I believe, 115, he's going to give me a pretty solid amount of my HP back, and after leftovers and Leech Seed, I'm going to be almost exactly at 100% again. I'm not going to be able to do that again because the Strength Sap also reduces Electros' attack stat, so it's actually going to provide less recovery every single time I use it. But I did get back up there, so I'm within the range to Spore him again now that the Misty Terrain has receded, and I can just get some more of that passive healing and put him well within range to be able to be taken down by a Moonblast, because I actually get the stab on that. He's a nice little mushroom, fairy grass. Not too good against poison, but that's not what I'm using him for. So Electros does stay asleep, thankfully, and I'm able to go for the Moonblast here. It does do enough where the Leech Seed drain will actually be able to take down the Electros, which is unfortunate for me. I was hoping to get the direct KO, but I'll have to settle for the indirect KO right here anyway. But in terms of the match, it's good because I got a KO and I can't really focus on stats every single time. That's not what the game is. So he brings out his Charizard for the first time against Shiinotic. I know I can't take this guy's Flare Blitz after he Mega Evolves, which he's going to do, even though he's at 50% HP from the Stealth Rocks. Actually, I think he's a little bit over. He has enough HP investment where it's going to leave him with 51% instead of 50%, so he could actually switch out and do it again if he needed to. But he actually does stay and go for a Dragon Dance, assuming I'm going to switch. So I can actually stay in and go for the Spore. I kind of assumed that he was going to try to go for a Dragon Dance. I don't think he would want to try and kill himself with a Flare Blitz just yet, but I'm not exactly sure if it would have mattered, because I could have just ended up bringing in the Nidoking here anyway, and going for an Earth Power was definitely going to kill this guy. It would have beaten him from 100%. So I'm not sure if his Dragon Dance was a bad play. I kind of support it, but it's really hard to say whether it mattered or not for the outcome of this match. But I do bring out the Nidoking again, and I do go for an Earth Power, and even though it's against a Feraligatr, it does a massive amount of damage. Modest Nature with sheer force is disgusting on this guy. It's absurd. So 2 Earth Powers are actually going to bring that guy down, and he's going to have to bring out the Kyurem again. He's actually taking a quarter of his health with the Stealth Rocks on the field, which is amazing for me. I don't want to have to deal with this guy, and I definitely can't deal with him at this much HP. So I have to switch back out to the Tapu Fini. I know he's going to Ice Beam. It's super effective against the Nidoking, and I really don't want to take one of those. But he actually ends up going for the Earth Power, which is pretty surprising. I don't know if he predicted my switch, but it actually hit me harder than the Ice Beam would have, so that kind of sucks for me. I do bring out the Tapu Fini though, and he does outspeed me because once again he is. Oh no, he is not choice specs. He is not choice scarfed. He is choice specs, but does outspeed me either way. But the good news is now he's locked into the Earth Power, and I can bring in Amoonguss here for free, knowing that he can't actually switch over and hit me super effectively. So I've got Amoonguss out here, and I know that I can just try to set up again, whether he switches out to Charizard or stays in. So I just go for the Leech Seed, and he does end up bringing the Charizard back out, and I seed Charizard, and I'm just going to drain that guy all day, keep getting my HP back, and with the Stealth Rocks, it's actually going to bring him down into the red on this single attack, and bring me back up to my full 167 HP. So that's pretty cool for me. He does wake up on this turn, which is kind of not cool for me, though. And he goes for the Flare Blitz, which is super unfortunate. I was hoping he would stay asleep for one more turn so I could get off the Strength Sap and survive that Flare Blitz. But he does get it off, and he kills me 100%, which actually does end up killing him from the recoil damage. So that's actually pretty good for me. I didn't want to have to come in on the Charizard and try to take it down, and then also have to take down the Kyurem. But we have the just total new type matchup here, and I am able to outspeed with my own choice Scarf, and the Sludge Wave is going to kill. I ran the stats, and I'm pretty sure there was about a 5% chance that my Sludge Wave wouldn't have defeated him at that moment, but obviously that was on the lower side of the probabilities. But there was a chance that I wouldn't have been able to take him down from that much HP. And without the Stealth Rocks coverage on the field, there's actually a very low chance that I would have been able to take him down at all, if at all. So it was a pretty close match, and the Rocks are actually what ended up winning me the game there. Again, I don't know if the Dragon Dance was a misplay. I don't know if it would have been different. I'm trying to think of whether or not his Flare Blitz there would have actually changed the outcome of the match. It would have taken down the Charizard, but I don't think that actually would have mattered. I still would have had the Nidoking in the back, and the Tapu Fini. So I think I still could have switched around some of the resistances, tried to take some hits, and I think the outcome might have been the same. But of course, we'll never know. And it was a fun match anyway. That Z Fortress really messed me up. It actually turned the tables on me a little bit there. Kind of lost control of the battle for just a little bit, taking out one of my main sweepers with one of your premier tanks. So yeah, it was a super fun battle. Love to see it again, and stay tuned for the round 2 of the Mahogany Town Mews in the Pokemon Draft League Season 2. All right, thanks for watching.